Good day, my friends, and welcome to Channel 42. My name is Wilma, and today on our third episode, we are going to talk seriously about walkers, as in the purchase of, the acquisition of. And I think the best way to do that is to finish the story that I started in my last episode. We pick up the tale about 18 months after the episode of pushing my wire bundle buggy like it was some kind of walker. And in that 18 months, I continued to overload my bundle buggy until one particular day I had been to the farmer's market, which is a kilometer and a half or so away, and I had not only loaded it to the gunnels, I had added a shopping bag full of lighter things like bread and eggs, just to make it a really worthwhile trip. I had to stop and rest 3 times on the way home because my arms were so sore. I had people, when I stopped, ask me, "Are you all right? Do you need any help?" By the time I got home, I think the expression is fried. And so I didn't do a whole lot for the rest of the evening. Went to bed early. Got up the next morning knowing that I had to go up to the drugstore. I was getting ready and thinking about hauling out the bundle buggy, and I got this brainstorm. Hey, there is a walker downstairs that's there for the use of anybody who has an emergency need for a walker. So I thought, perfect solution. I went down, got the walker, left a nice note on there. I've got the walker's name and apartment number, and took off for the drugstore. And I was a good block away when it suddenly dawned on me that I was walking my old speed. I was walking upright. My back wasn't bothering me, and it was an epiphany out there in the middle of the street. An epiphany that said, "Wilma, the time has come. This is it." So when I finished my errands, I walked over to a nearby service provider and I said, "I gotta have a walker. That's it. I just have to walk." So that is kind of how many people end up with their walker. It's a fluke. They have one that's lying around somewhere maybe in their family. They inherit it. Grandma died, she had a walker, what do we do with it? It goes in somebody's basement. Sometimes you're out in a thrift store and you see one and it's like a fraction of the price you would normally pay. And so, one day I will need it, so you pick it up. The price is right. Hey, there's no getting away from that. It may be that, like the walker that I borrowed for this jaunt uptown, the height is a little awkward, the seats may be a little awkward. You can't be absolutely sure that the brakes work correctly and all the rest of it, but any port in a storm, if it's going to work for you, you're going to use it. And I'm the last person to gainsay anybody on that one. Another source that is really reasonable is service clubs. Now, service clubs, they collect these things, they repair them as best that they can, and they will rent them out for peanuts for however long you may need them. And if you need something to sort of hold you over, service clubs are definitely an answer. But there again, they'll fix them up as best they can, but they're not specialists in it. Although they might be, you never know. But it's an option. And they don't usually put a time limit on how long you can have one. The next best option for a new walker is something like, in Canada, Canadian Tire. Home Hardware frequently has them too. Both those stores have them on sale from time to time. The prices are good, the deals are good. The salesperson probably doesn't know anything more about fitting you for a walker than you do. And I'm not sure how they stand on actual repairs to the walker. I somehow don't necessarily seeing them having the equipment, but I could be wrong on that. That's something that you need to investigate. The big thing there is you get a new walker, and that's a big plus. About the only other source, and if you use this one, that's the drugstores. If you use a drugstore, they will probably want you to have an assessment. Now, a friend of a friend went into a lengthy and colorful explanation of why she was not going to use someone to assess what she needed in a walker, because it will cost you. Not a huge price, but it will cost you for the assessment. However, on the flip side of that, the benefit is that there is something in Ontario, I don't know about the other provinces, but in Ontario, it's called the ADP, Assistive Devices Program. If you are assessed as needing a mobility aid for safe walking, or even like a wheelchair, something like that, if you are assessed as requiring it, you can have 3/4 of the price paid for. So you will be responsible for 1/4 of the price after you pay for the assessment. Now, let's get this clear. This is not Christmas. This is not carte blanche to, oh, I'm going to get myself a walker. This is if you have a need and you can show the need to someone who is experienced at assessments like this. I went for my assessment. I made the arrangements for the assessment. And she watched me walk, and we sat down and we looked at heights for the handles and all the rest of it. And she said, okay, now walk for me without the walker. So I did. And she looked at me and she said, that looks like it hurts. And I said, it does. It does hurt. But the thing is with this, if you have a catastrophic change of some sort, they will replace that with the upgraded tool that you need. As well, they give you 5 years with the walker that you own, and then you qualify to reapply under the program for a new walker. Remember I said this isn't Christmas, but it was such a relief to go out and be able to find a good, strong walker, the height I wanted, the quality that I wanted, that folds the way I want because it fits my lifestyle, because this has to be able to be packed and go into trunks of cars and on the bus and all sorts of places. This is the perfect walker for me right now. They don't advertise the ADP program. Our providers, what do we call them? The device providers do not advertise. So this is something you have to look for. So I'm going to put the link to the Ontario government's ADP program in the remarks below. I urge you to take a look at everything on that page. Check every link. There are provisions under certain circumstances that some kind of service club may pick up the other 25%. You won't know that until you get your assessment. Once again, if there's anything that comes out of this as a takeaway, it comes back to be informed. Find out what the ramifications are for all these various things. It's your mobility, it's your health, it's your independence. So check these things out, please, so that when you go into this, you are as informed as possible and aware as possible. And this means that the person providing the service for you can do their very best because they know what you want, what you see as your need, and they can do their best to address that. I'm kind of excited about the next episode because it's safety, which means we are one episode away from our first videotaped walk. And that is so exciting. In episode 4. Bye for now.